We're back, Scar and Do back talking ball, fired up. We're in a good place. The championship is out there for us, Do. A big win by the Lions last night. Talk to us. How you feeling, man?
That was a fun game to watch last night. I don't know if I've put that much emotion to an NFL game in a long time. And I don't, I've told you a bunch of times, I don't gamble, right? I saw that line last night that the Lions were favored by 6.5, and I thought, that's easy money. Tampa Bay with that defense, with Baker Mayfield, with our secondary being so bad and hurt, I thought that was easy money. And that's why I don't gamble, because I don't know anything when it comes to that. And that was a great win for the Lions. Michigan, great bounce back win. I thought Chip had a really great game plan, and it was executed really well. The guys saw what was happening. They were patient. Bryce took what he could get, took some easy money, and Marsh showed up big. And, man, Zach Marshall, I can't believe how well that guy played for somebody who's the third string tight end. Really great things on there. Lots of stuff to build on. Still some things to kind of, work on defense, but that was a much better plan than it was against SC.
Yeah. I'm going to just correlate real quick on the Lions and Michigan, because they're very similar with what I'm seeing. And this is the sign of great leadership, okay? When you lose dudes and you got to throw Frazier in there, or the Lions secondary, or you got to throw Marshall in there at tight end, and now here's Tonelli in there at tight end. Those are the signs of good programs, okay? That can plug guys in, that have depth, that develop depth. Because I've been pounding the table all year about developing depth, playing dudes. I want Frazier getting more reps. But the Lions were like, that's what you see, that secondary, that defense, all them guys out. Okay, so that's great stuff there. And then with Michigan, though, with Tonelli and some of these guys that can plug in. Quick story, Do. When I was getting recruited by Michigan State, I never forget them saying this. They said, we think we can compete with Michigan's top 22, with our top 22 and their top 22. Where they get us is when guys start getting banged up. That's where their top 44 is better than our top 44. But that's the sign of great coaching, great recruiting, program building. So anyway, here's what we're going to cover today, fellas, people listening in. We're going to cover some college football. We'll look at the Big Ten quickly. We're going to really take a look at our future opponents. Every week we'll look at our future opponents. Do and I'll analyze MSU, what it's going to take to beat them, and then we're going to look at the film. Do, I want to start out talking about Blake Frazier. When I was at spring practice a couple of years ago when he was a senior in high school, I didn't know who the kid was. I saw his name tag, Frazier. I saw his old man. I never met his dad, but I knew who he was. He played. I forget what years. So I introduced myself to him. I started talking to the old man real quick, and he hadn't committed. It was a spring practice. Jim was coaching. And, the old man was a humble guy, kid, a good, big, tall, handsome, good-looking kid. And I was really happy for the dad. I talked to the dad, at practice that day. He's a Michigan guy. And the kid committed that day at practice after I had left to Jim in Michigan.
The Scar influence.
I don't know. His old man, his old man was, raised the kid humble and tough. And I was just, when I saw that kid out there, I was thinking about that moment. And he's ready to go. He's going to start at Michigan State. I'm hoping Link is okay. I looked at that film. I didn't see anybody coming from the side. He was just pass throwing.
Yeah.
And but anyway, just some thoughts on that.
He was setting up in pass pro, and the edge was bull rushing him, and kind of went a little inside. And Evan just kind of got a little squirrely on his feet. They were a little bit wide, and it looked to me, I think it was his left knee that kind of caved in a little bit. And of course it looked bad because of course they brought the card out. And so immediately you're thinking that's a season ending injury, but great news. It's not as bad as they thought. And there's a chance that he comes back. So excellent, because he's done a lot better this year than he did last year. In his pass pro is much better. His run blocking's real good. So Evan Link is an important part when you think about the future. the next 2 years with Bryce as the quarterback, you're going to need a line, and this line, for the most part, is coming back, except for Al-Hadi and Crippen, but Guarnero's going to move to center. Get this line some experience, and, man, that's a pretty good unit looking in the future.
Yeah, I hope, Link, that's great news. I hadn't heard that. But then the next question, is who's the next tackle now? Okay. Who's now the fourth tackle? So we'll find out.
Yeah.
But anyway, some quick thoughts on college football. So the Florida job is open. I'd like to see Michigan guys get opportunities. I want to see Morgan get a shot at a small, some of these jobs. Some of these Michigan guys, I want to see get opportunities, man. But
I do too. But, man, I had this theory last week that all of these teams that have head coaches that are going to be potential candidates for these opening jobs, when you look at Manny Diaz, when you look at Matt Rule, Lane Kiffin, and a few others, these guys are at programs, but there's an opportunity for them to move up. And I theorize that even though they're not, hands-on involved in looking for a job, they're talking to their agents. And it doesn't matter. Your mind, for a minute or two, leaves what you're planning for and it's talking to your agent about the future. Every one of those guys lost.
Yeah.
And so you go back to when Michigan had Durkin, the defensive coordinator for Michigan, the first year with Jim, and he's getting interviewed for the Maryland job. And lo and behold, the next week we get absolutely killed by Ohio State. It's impossible to tell the coaches, hey, I don't want you talking to anybody while we're in season. It just doesn't work like that. I'm not naive enough to believe that it would. But you have to devote every minute to the next game.
No question, man. Anyway, Purdue loses to Northwestern. So we play both of those guys. I really like both those coaches, but Purdue just doesn't show the physicality. They got a quarterback, and Northwestern is like, this guy's tough, man. Those kids are tough. We got to go play them at Wrigley. None of those games are going to be joke games because I respect both coaches, but Northwestern has a tough physical quarterback and physical tough kids, not the fastest, most athletic, but they went to Penn State and won. So both of those games we got to deal with. Northwestern at Wrigley is something I'm going to be, we need to really be ready to think about.
100%. Northwestern, I really like what David Braun has done at Northwestern. Fitz gets railroaded from that whole hazing incident, and the school did railroad him because they eventually, this year, apologized for what they did. But Braun's done a really good job. He came in there. He got them winning right away. He installed an offense with this Preston Stone. I like that kid. I think he's thrown 10 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. But I really like that receiver that he's got, Griffin Wild. That number 17, he got in that winning drive against Penn State. That's in Happy Valley, by the way. Stone threw the ball to Griffin 4 times on a 12-play drive. And I just like what Braun's doing. He was Big Ten Coach of the Year his first year. He got him to 8-5 with a win in the bowl game. Stumbled a little bit last year, but, man, there's everything to like. Now, their schedule is going to get a whole lot tougher on the back half here. But nonetheless, he's got Northwestern playing pretty good football. And
they got a new facility coming. Now they got money. I like those dudes that come from like North Dakota State and South Dakota State because they're just tough. They coach toughness. And he's one of them guys that
they're hungry as hell.
Yeah. Anyway, they're on the schedule. We got to play them at Wrigley, Maryland. Guys always recruit great players, and they're a good team, man. We got to still deal with them. But he went to UCLA. He found a way to lose. UCLA, it's a long flight. But Maryland, they're on the schedule. He's got a good quarterback. He's an athletic kid, and I think Maryland is playing some decent defense. He's gone through a whole bunch of defensive court. I don't know that he's ever had a defensive coordinator more than 2 years, but he's got old Pep running his offense, and they are on the schedule. We got to go there the week before we play the Buckeyes. It'll be a mental challenge and a challenge.
Maryland in the 3 conference games they've played blew late game leads. And since 2021, they're 19-3 in September. But once the calendar hits October, they're 8-25. And I just obviously the opponents are better than their non-conference schedule, but yeah, they have some players. Malik Washington, good quarterback. They have a good defense. They fly around, but they just somehow keep finding ways to lose once it turns to October. Malik Washington is guy, a good quarterback can carry you a long way. We saw what happens when you have not a good quarterback or a real good quarterback. Washington, young guy, but he's good. He completes like 60% of his passes. He's got 11 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and he's rushed for 3 touchdowns. So, and that's on the road, right? At Maryland? Yeah. Remember the last time we went to Maryland? We started out real good. Derek Moore, I think, picked up a fumble or an interception or something and ran it back, and it looked good early on, but Maryland kept coming. It's not none of these games are something you can just
hell no.
In a W.
This is Big Ten football, man. Northwestern goes to Penn State, wins. Come on, man. You got to play. These guys are recruited players. These coaches aren't idiots. So Indiana, Michigan State, it was a tough game early. We'll get into Michigan State for more. Indiana's for real. They got a quarterback. The guy's a hell of a coach. We don't play him. But Michigan State, we will talk about and get into. Ohio State goes to Wisconsin and hammers them. Wisconsin's, we know Ohio State's for real. Defense is legit. Nothing on our schedule we can't beat. I like where we're at. Let me finish up here.
I do too.
One last comment on Oregon playing Rutgers. When I look at Oregon playing Rutgers, Rutgers might have 1 or 2 guys that could start for Rutgers or for Oregon. Rutgers has 1 or 2 guys. It's about the money. I heard Shiano talking about money, but it's such a disparity with talent when I look at that football game.
Well, it is, except when you think Northwestern played Oregon early in the season and they lost by 2 scores or whatever. But it was a competitive game. I'm a little disappointed with how many points Shiano's team gave up here. And it just, he's a better coach than that.
Yeah.
And just to watch. Now, Oregon's on a mission because they lost to Indiana at home. So Dan Lanning's going to have those guys, fired up, and they got a ton of talent. But still, I thought Rutgers should have had a better showing than that. Ohio State, this defense now, you got to question, is that the best talent that they faced? Well, it doesn't matter. They've allowed no first half touchdowns to anybody. And here is the points they've yielded by quarter. In the first quarter, and this is all of their games combined, in the first quarter, they've allowed 3 points. Second quarter, 15 points. Third quarter, 16 points. Fourth quarter, 13 points. That's a legit defense. Do I think we have some tools that by the time that game rolls around can find some holes? Absolutely. And it's at home. And they're going to be, we're going to be in their head a little bit. On paper, it looks like Ohio State's the much better team, but we don't play it on paper, baby.
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm confident in that game. The Saints, the quarterback's the real deal. Penn State went to Iowa. Iowa definitely made the right decision getting rid of that offensive coordinator and bringing in the right quarterback. Their offense is legit. Nebraska loses at Minnesota. And he thought
not only loses, Nebraska did nothing. They looked terrible on offense. And again, it's just my theory, and it might not hold any water, but here's Matt Rule's name getting called out constantly, which he even addressed it for the Penn State game because he played there and he's from Pennsylvania. And the next week, his offense goes out there and lays a big fat egg.
Yeah, that's one more comment about another team. Texas Tech. You see these teams. These teams. I never wanted to be so quarterback reliant. We learned, so many things we watched Bo do. You want to have a program that's not quarterback reliant as much as possible. Obviously, it's the most important position, But I see Texas Tech, they're undefeated, and their quarterback gets hurt. Now they can't do nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't want to be that kind of team. I'm going to still pound the table that we get our find a way to get our second string quarterback work, but people don't want to listen to me.
Well, I mean, all you got to do is go back to the Rich Rod era when the quarterback really was the entire offense, especially when Denard was around. And that's just a risky business. Plus, if you're able to hone in on one guy, which Michigan State was the master of that, Rich Rod couldn't do anything against them, even in his third year when it looked like, okay, we got guys that are returning, they're understanding the system. Didn't matter.
Okay, couple thoughts on Michigan, then we'll jump on Michigan State, and then we'll get into the film. I thought, I had, again, we talked about the sign of a good program. You lose guys. You got these two young tight ends that get in there, and you don't miss a beat. Tonelli was fine catching the ball. I mean, the kid made a good play, knocking the one loose on him. And Marshall, the kid was blocking. He had some blocks in there, dude. I was watching him. He's gotten physical, and he's catching the ball. So we really didn't step back, and that's just a sign of a good program. But I always started with securing the damn football. This is what I say we got to do to beat Washington: secure the football. Number one, take away Coleman. Take away any play the running back gets the football on, and then honor the quarterback and take away quarterback run. The first play of the game when Washington had the ball against Rutgers, the quarterback went 50 yards, and Rutgers didn't honor it. Those are two things we did. We did a pretty damn good job of taking away the running back, any play he gets the ball on, and honoring the quarterback, and then make the kid beat you with his arm. And I think Wink and those guys were thinking along the same way I was thinking. So defensively, anyway, that's how I saw it, and I thought that for the most part, that's how we executed. What do you think about defense?
I thought the defense was, and I think it's obvious, the defense was simplified. Okay. First of all, we didn't run with the 5-2 nearly as much as we did against USC. We went with the 4-3 or the 4-2-5. We put in the nickel quite a bit. We started the game with the nickel. Didn't ask guys to do too much. We're still asking some defensive ends to do some things in coverage, but nonetheless, and I think the tail is in the numbers here. In the first half, Washington had 6 possessions. They went 172 yards, including that 70-yard touchdown. So they had 172 yards on 6 possessions and a touchdown in the first half. In the second half, they got 4 possessions and they got 52 yards or something like that. That's a hell of a job by the defense.
Yeah.
And that's, Wink has been in the crosshairs of everybody. He is getting lambasted. People want him fired. People think that he's just a puppet right now and somebody else is running the defense behind the scenes. All of that is just internet chatter. That's not happening. Wink and the defensive staff got together and they coordinated the coverage better. I heard that Morgan got together with the linebackers and the DEs and the DBs, and let's just explain coverages and what your responsibility is and what your keys are. And they did that during the week, and it worked out that everybody was on the page much better than they were against SC. You even Barham still isn't great on the run, but he was 100 times better than he was against USC. He did not come charging upfield. He read his keys. He slowed down when it was a run, obviously, and squeezed when the offensive tackle blocked down. He squeezed that gap, and that's what you're supposed to do. You want to build a wall on the line of scrimmage. When you come upfield, you put a hole in the wall. So he was much better. There's still a lot of things to clean up, and there was injuries. I mean, we didn't see Rod Moore. And Zeke Berry was out, and got to get those guys healthy because Berry had some good plays, a great play on a third down in the first drive.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but listen, I give props to Wink, and there's going to be people out there that say, "Well, why do we have to have these simplified changes halfway through the year? Why did we try some harder things in the beginning that burned us?" Well, because you got some upperclassmen. And you have guys that have been in a system for a year and a half, and you think you can do some things with these guys, and let's try to confuse the offense with these trick things. And it turns out that they're not prepared for it. They're not good enough to do it. And it's not the pros. You don't have every day, all day, every week. to explain and practice things. You got a few hours, a couple days a week, or basically a couple days a week. There's only 2 padded practices during the week. So anyway, I think Wink did a great job. I think go to the top guy, go to Sharon.
That's right. Anyway, one last thing about the defense, Bo's philosophy was always, let's recruit athletes. They wanted 3-sport guys. They wanted a guy that could catch a basketball, throw a baseball.
Right.
Guess what? And how many? I can say this as a guy who played 5 years at Michigan. Every single day in practice, every single day, I caught a football in practice. Every drill the great Milan Vuletic, I love him. We started practice with drills. We're doing bag drills. He's throwing the ball to us. We're doing cones. He's throwing the ball to us. We did drops every day, throwing the ball to us. Catch the damn ball. Push-ups if you drop it. Throwing the ball, catching the balls. I coached 25 years. I threw balls to every single player.
Yep.
Defensive linemen were catching balls. Everybody was catching balls. No, seriously. So I'm just a believer that anything your team does, your players do, is a reflection of what the hell you work on. So we've recruited athletes. I don't know if Rolder played tight end. He might have been whatever. And Cole Sullivan. Those are huge plays in that game. Both those guys to catch the damn ball. Shug dropped one too. Should have had 3. But anyway.
4. We actually had 3. 4.
I don't ever take anything like that for granted that, it's an easy. No, man. That stuff is worked on, and part of it is recruiting. It's worked on and it's repped. Go ahead. Any other thoughts on that?
No, absolutely. I did the same thing with my linebackers when I was coaching them. We went through basically the same drills every day. And it started with the agility drills, then drop backs and throwing the ball to them, and then reading your keys, reading the guard to the nearest back. We did that every single day. And I did the same thing with the outside backers. Read your key. Your eyes are on the outside shoulder of that tight end or the end man on the line of scrimmage. Keep your eye on the outside shoulder. It'll tell you what the guy's going to do.
Yeah.
And then we react from there. Squeeze down if he's blocking on a run. Rush if he's high hat. Repetitive stuff that those guys learned every day in practice. And these guys do it too. We've been to practices. You see the drills and stuff. But it was a bounce back game that they needed. Everybody needed it. And it was a fun game to be at. Real fun game.
Some other quick thoughts on the offense. We're spreading the ball around to a lot of different players. Every player is a threat. Every single receiver is a threat. We can run behind everyone. We can run behind every tight end. We can throw to every tight end. There's no imposters. There's no decoys. That's what I want to see from our offense. Bryce is no damn freshman no more. He ain't no freshman. No. Our guy's every bit as good as the kid they got in Columbus. Okay, and that kid's damn good. They're talking about him as a Heisman, this, that, or whatever. I'm confident that anyway, when I look at our offense, we can run gap either way. We can run zone either way. Frazier is not a liability. We ran the ball to him. He blocked down and moved some guys. He'll be much better in his first start. But Bryce ain't no freshman. And then that's all else I got on the offense. Any thoughts on the offense?
No, you're right. Everybody on that offense contributed. Everybody was doing their jobs. And as you said, there was no imposters that we had to try and hide. Not along the line and not a tight end. And right. Jordan Marshall deserves a lot of praise. Comes in for an injured Haynes and carries the load, and he worked his butt off. He runs really hard. 133 yards and a touchdown against a pretty good defense. And it was a tough game. I mean, this was a tied game deep into the third quarter.
Yeah.
Excellent job by everybody and good coaching by Sharon and his guys. Got to give him credit.
Yeah. Before we get into Washington, some quick thoughts. I thought it was the best talent we're going to see until we play the Buckeyes. So they will, I think, have better talent than Michigan State, Maryland, Purdue, and Northwestern. I think they have. Do you agree with that?
I think that I think that Maryland will be very similar, especially because it's on the road. So, but yeah, I mean, this is a well-coached team. I really am a big fan of Jedd Fisch, and I have been since he was the offensive coordinator here back in Jim's early days. I liked him a lot, and I think he really knows how to prepare a team, recruit, get guys on the same page. He's got a dynamic offense. I love his offense. And he's, this is a young quarterback. So the guy made a mistake. And that's what's going to happen in a tight ball game, especially on the road with two young quarterbacks. Really what comes down to is somebody's going to make a mistake. And that's what happened. Damon Williams threw a couple of bad balls that got picked off. And that really changed. Man, I can't even describe to you the mood in the stadium when that interception by Sullivan occurred. The place went nuts, and it really woke everybody up. The offense came out, and right away, one play, bang, with that. We're going to look at that play on the inside trap.
Yeah. Well, that's part of our plan, though. That was when I look at things like that, it's like, okay, well, maybe we made them throw. They couldn't run the damn ball. They couldn't run him. So now that's exactly what we want. We want Damon to beat us with his arm. Anyway, I just want to go.
That running back was the leading touchdown rusher. He has more touchdowns than anybody else on the ground in the country. And we held him to one short. Yep.
So anyway, the way I see it, I'm gonna get a little Schembechler. Men, we're right where we want to be. We control our own destiny to get to the Big Ten championship game. Think about it. USC has one loss to Illinois. They're going to lose at Oregon. Oregon lost at home to Indiana. We're going to win out. We're going to beat the number one team in the country in Ann Arbor. Okay, Indiana's probably going to win out. So who are they going to pick to play Indiana? We just beat Ohio State. Oregon lost at home to Indiana. We got one loss on the road to USC. I'm wondering how that's going to play out. But
I was looking at that. I mean, looking at it because there's so many teams that don't play each other that have similar records. Iowa, for an example, what do they do if there's one undefeated team, say Indiana, and then a bunch of teams with one loss? Be interesting to find out how they go about that,
man. That's why. Anyway, don't get me started about why we even have a Big Ten championship game. I like to have a bunch of co-champs, but anyway, we're going to be favored in every game we play up until when the Buckeyes come in town. So I like where we're at. We could very easily, playing good, sound, smart football, be 9-2 with the Buckeyes rolling in. Let's jump over to Michigan State. Okay, big game, mentally big game. I think for the in-state guys like us. It was a big game for, it's a big game for the program. It's a big game for our alumni and everything. But being an in-state guy, I knew guys that played for Michigan State, got recruited by them. Them. It's really a hated thing. I got recruited by Michigan State. I spent the whole day with Kirk Gibson when I was getting recruited up there. Really? And all of them dudes talk about is beating Michigan. That's all they talk about. That's their season. Well, they've lost 4 straight. This is their season. We're going to get everything they got. They've worked on things that they haven't shown all year. Their crowd, we're going to get them at night. Their crowd will wake up, and they will come, and they will come hard. But it's what they talk about. It's what we want. But it's more of a hated thing, in my opinion. It's the only game. It's the only football game I ever played in 5 years of college football where the dude on the other side was talking. I mean, I never experienced it. It's a lot more common now, I think, but this dude, I lined up against the tight end, both of them different, just talking like, well, there's 100,000 people out here. I'm worried about my adjustments, my technique, what's the down and these dudes are talking. I didn't even acknowledge it, but it was a different mentality. But I just want to get into that mental part. It's the mouth. It's the hatred. It's not as the Buckeyes are respect, not a sound. It's a different kind of rivalry, in my opinion, having played in it. But I remember.
Well, I think you're right. It's
let me finish up. Do one more thing. Yeah. The building, Big Johnny had the whole place. We got the green helmet, the green jersey, the demos in green. And we practiced at the stadium this week. I think it's the only week we practiced at the stadium all year, right?
Yeah.
It's the only game that we would practice.
I don't remember practicing over there for for Ohio
No,
State.
even for the Buckeyes, we stayed on. So it's the only game we practiced at the stadium. It was a big time game, and Sharon knows it's a big time game. We got to dominate recruiting in this state. If there's a kid in Michigan, and we both are offering the same amount of money, we got to get that kid. We got to get every kid from the state of Michigan. And this game is crucial and huge. Talk to me, dude, before we dig on Smith and his team.
You learn this real quick when you get to Michigan as a player, how much this rivalry means and how much Bo put into this and how much he had everybody on the same page, how important this game was. You come in on Sunday, the day after the previous game, and it's a red letter game. Everybody knows what's coming up. We start preparing for that thing, and the practices were as intense as anything you can imagine. And like you said, get the demo dressed up in Sparty gear and talk some crap to the guys across the line. And everybody.
Hey, hang on. Did the coaches actually ask you guys to simulate that? The crap? Mouth? Yeah.
No, I was telling the guys.
It's actually a good idea, though. It's actually a good idea because it's one of my 3 things I think we got to do to win this game. It's actually a good idea. If I was coaching, I would ask my demo guys to open the mouth, to talk junk, because it's the one way you're going to really get it.
We had guys back there on the demo, Bob's, the Stites boys, me, a couple of the other, Todd Plate when he was younger before he made it up to the big time. We would talk all kinds of crap. Bo would have a limit on how much he could do because if his offense wasn't executing practice properly and you got these clowns over here on the demo shooting their mouths off, he'd be all right with it until he wasn't.
Yeah. All right, dude. Anyway, listen, I respect their head coach. He went to Oregon State when they were garbage, and I watched his teams the last few years there, and they're good. He's a good offensive coach. He was a quarterback. He worked under Peterson, who was at Washington. He worked under some good guys. Their problem is defense. They haven't spent the money on defense. I think he has a good coach there. I don't think they're as athletic as they need to be. They score a lot of points, okay? They put 31 on that USC defense, okay? They had 5 turnovers and still put 27 on Nebraska. At Nebraska, they could have won that game. They turned the ball over so many times. They put, but they score a lot of points, and that's the thing. The quarterback is similar in a way to what we just faced. He's capable of looking like Lamar Jackson, where how do you stop this guy? He's a problem, man. If he can throw the ball with accuracy and secures the football, his ability to run and the problems he gives you, they run the outside zone as good as anybody. That's the one play that this guy really, really works on. You got to, where's the gap going to show up? The back has to read it, but they do a real good job with outside zone. But the quarterback is athletic as hell. We got to have a similar game plan, and we got to get the crowd. We got to put the greatest way I want to start this football game is a long, nasty, physical 15-play drive, and then score, and then they get out there and we get off the field. Then we score. We want them leaving. We want them in the bar at halftime. We want that stadium closed down, but we got to take that away. But anyway, I'm going to just talk my three keys, and then you can finish up on Michigan State.
Right.
Number 1. This is all I want from the offense. This is all I got. One goal for the offense because I think we're gonna move the ball. Secure the football. The only way they beat us and keep us from moving the football is if we screw around and give them the ball. Because I think we're going to be able to run all of our stuff. We should be able to power them, zone them, RPO them, throw. That defense is a problem for them. They don't have it's one of the worst athletic defense in my. I think they're pretty well coached. But I don't know that they're as athletic as some of the people we've seen. So, number 1, secure the football. That's all I want from our offense. Number 2, defense. It's the same plan we did against Washington. It's the same thing. We got to take away that outside zone. And any play that running back gets the ball, we got to have a handle on it. And then we got to honor everything that he keeps the ball on, the quarterback. You know what I mean? They don't keep it a lot, but that we have to honor it. We got to make this kid beat us with his arm. Okay. And the third thing, that's all I want from our defense. Same game plan as Washington. And then the last thing is we got to be mentally tough. Our players have to be mentally tough. You go to East Lansing, that place will get loud. It'll get nasty. And you got to keep your composure. They're going to talk. It's an emotional game. It's a highly emotional football game. I started in 2 of them, and you got to keep your composure, focus on the guy and your assignment and your responsibility, and block out the crowd and focus on your teammates. And that's that. Your thoughts on Michigan State?
So on the field, physically, it's going to be important that everybody does their assignment. Like you said, they run outside zone, right? And they have a mobile quarterback. So you have to be gap responsible. You got to have integrity in the gaps. If yours is the edge, you have the edge. Don't leave the edge. Don't come up field. Don't get blown off. Don't get wide. Anchor the edge. Same thing with the interior defensive linemen and the linebackers. Everybody's got a gap. You're responsible for that gap. Do not abandon your gap and stay responsible to your job. He's going to get some yards. Aiden Childs is their leading rusher, I think, or pretty close. Like, for instance, against Indiana, Sparty rushed for 74 yards. 48 of them came from Childs. That means only 26 non-Childs rushing yards against Indiana. They should not be able to rush the ball against us. That's going to take that wall, build that wall. But the other thing you talk about is keeping your composure. Think back to the Nebraska game. We got them stopped on 3rd down, and somebody goes over in front of the Nebraska bench and flexes or whatever and gets a penalty. Well, have you seen any of that type of stuff?
No, he had the talk, dude. He had the talk.
He 100% had the talk.
We talked to him. The statue talked to him.
And there was some opportunities last week, and I could literally see it in the player's head thinking, I want to, nope, not back to the huddle or back to the sideline or back to my teammates. And so Sharon did a good job with that. No stupid penalties. Yeah. It's going to be loud. It's at night. Somebody's going to have a beer or two before the game. And this team is going to play like it's their season. They still have an opportunity to make a bowl game, which they haven't done for 3 years. And nothing would be better if they took a step against Michigan State. On paper, this team shouldn't be able to hang with us, but you don't play it on paper. You play it on the field. It's a road game. It's loud. You're going to have a freshman quarterback trying to do things that they don't want him to do. And so it's how we handle the adversity. Michigan State's probably going to come out if they get the ball, and I wouldn't be surprised if they drove down and scored. They've done it a bunch of times this year already. They did it against Indiana. As a matter of fact, they had 2 leads in the first and beginning of second quarter. So it's not like these guys can't play, but they're not good enough to hang for 4 quarters. As long as Michigan does what they're supposed to do, doesn't make mistakes, doesn't fumble, and doesn't get stupid penalties.
Yeah, they're good on offense, man. The most emotional football game I ever played in, the most emotional locker room I was ever part of at Michigan was when we went there in '83. Yeah. Perlis just got hired there, and he was talking about recruiting and how things he was doing to beat Michigan and how he was better than Michigan. And Jerry Hanlon, one of the only times Bo let Hanlon talk before the game, and man, he was in tears in the locker room. We just hammered him. I never saw an emotional team, and it just carried over. We were better than them. We crushed them that day. And then and I have memories, dude. There's nothing finer than the last time I played there in '85. You know, we beat them. We hammered them good again. And the memories of being on that bus, driving back from East Lansing with your teammates, man. I think maybe a guy or two, someone might have slipped a little bottle into their bag on that transition.
A little celebration on the bus.
Don't keep it in the back. But the celebration on that bus on the way home from East Lansing, man, you can't put a price on it. The work that goes into that, the feeling of that, and overcoming that crowd and those players, And secure the ball, the Washington defensive game plan, and mental tough dudes, man.
Run the ball, run it right at them, and run that RPO. And, I would love to, just like in the chat here, Mr. Martini says, stadium half empty by the third quarter, like the old
I hope you're right, baby. That's the plan.
I hope you're right, Mr. Martini.
Any other questions there, Dew?
Yeah, Dennis, our boy Denny there, he complimented us on our matching shirts. That's nice. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah, but we talked about Scar's got the old tore up, ripped up stuff, but it's still Michigan. Dew's rocking the brand new stuff. Scar,
it is brand new because my wife stole it from me and stuffed it in her closet. And I didn't know it. I forgotten I had the dang thing until I went looking for a Maze shirt for the Maze out that we had at the Big House a couple games ago. And I'm like, hey, there's that shirt.
Hey, Dew, I got one more note here that I wanted to talk about the Lions and how it relates to Michigan. Lions have lost a bunch of offensive linemen, putting in dudes here, but you know what? They still mulch dudes at the line of scrimmage. What does that tell you? That tells you who's the offensive line coach. That's the guy that doesn't get enough credit for the Lions. And the same thing with Michigan now, when we can win and plug dudes in, that's the sign of a good position coach too. When like Sharon even mentioned Kasula, the guy, the tight end coach, that our tight ends, I mean, we plugged 2 dudes in there. So shout out to Hank Frawley, the old legendary offensive line coach, and Kasula for getting our tight ends squared up as we move. Yeah,
listen, man, Grant Newsome too. That guy's been around a while now, and the offensive line is playing pretty darn good compared to last year. This offensive line is playing way, way better, and you have to give Grant Newsome some props, a lot of props. I love Grant.
Yeah. All right, dude, we're going to transition to the film. Tell me if you got the film up.
I do.
You do have it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're rolling. All right, this is the first play of the game. I'm going to always take a shot at the analysis that does the game. Joel's talking about pass rush and that if Michigan does this, they're going to be in for a long day. Well, it's, you know what? If you think you can get 4 dudes that are just going to bench press, it's really hard to do. The only thing I would say about Barham here, because this is hard to do, he wants to just bench press these dudes and 2 gap them all. That's like damn near impossible. You don't have Reggie White out there.
Right.
4 Reggie Whites. So the only thing I would say, go ahead.
I think he needs to add a little bit. So if he realizes at a certain point, right, he thinks he's going to get to the quartewback. Right there, now you got to turn around.
Yeah, that was the point I was going to make, dude. Is when the way I coached it, and you get about a yard beyond quarterback depth, you get around here, and now you can work under with the helicopter spin move, right. And he has to realize that. So anyway, I just think that it's hard, and he has to, again, those are little reps that he has to work on. What is the down and distance? 2nd and 6, smell a rat. I have smell a rat here. Again, this comes with repetition. Look at this little bullshit tight end block. What does that tell you? What the hell does he, you know what I mean? This comes with repetition. So when I'm looking at that, if I'm playing this position and I see this tight end, like, what is that? What is that working with width? And he's passed. That tells me something. I got to smell a rat. I have to smell a rat. And it's just repetition.
If you watched Aiden Hutchinson last night, he came off the edge a couple of times and he smelled that rat. And right away, he stopped his rush and backed up, got his hands up to make Baker Mayfield have to throw that little hitch over his head and hands. That's a pro, though. And this is all American.
He is such a smart player. You're right, dude. He's such a smart player, man. And anyway, you're right. It's all these little things that in defense of Barham, he hasn't played the position enough. He's got to figure some things out. Shug should have picked this one. This is one of Wink's favorite stunts. It's 2nd and 12. What what I like about this stunt do as a guy who played on the edge is this tackle. Okay, and this tackle right here, again, this tackle right here, if he knows all day long you're working outside moves, it's easier for him. But now you give this guy a chance to go inside this. You give Moore a chance to go inside.
Yeah.
Again, we don't get there, but maybe the pressure was a factor. But Suge has got to catch this ball. We got to catch him.
Well, I think that listen, it's easy for me, us, everybody to say, oh, you should have caught the ball. Listen, this ball gets in his hands surprisingly. He's not expecting it. He's got his eyes on that receiver, thinking the pass is going to that receiver. And, the next second, holy hell, it's in my hands. So,
Oh, no, I ain't yelling at the guy, dude. I just know that to beat the Buckeyes, these are plays that this kid will make them. He'll make that play, 75% of the time. We have to make him against the big people. And he will. Good break here. You talked about that play.
Yeah, that's a great break, man. And Zeke Berry back there. And I can't explain to you how tough this is. If you've never done this, try backpedaling as fast as you can, stopping and accelerating the other way after you see the ball released. That is a tough thing to do. And Zeke's doing a great job at corner. And an important play because it was third down.
Yeah, this is make them stop all the blocks. I want to run the dang gap scheme. Jim Harbaugh got all these different jobs. Stanford was built on gap scheme, power play, and I got 83 marked. I got 44 marked here. What are they doing? Let's see. This big kid that Marshall's blocking. Dude, he's a monster.
Yeah.
Marshall is asked to block this kid right here who's probably
and just real quick, watch his head placement on this. The guy's got inside leverage on him. Watch where Marshall puts his helmet. Now, this is not a star recruit. This is a guy that's played, limited. Gets his head across the bow because he wants to try and seal him off.
He's got leverage
inside.
And he's lower.
Yep.
But look at this. He's staying on it. He's keeping the contact. Look at that. That's the stuff.
That is.
That's outstanding. That's encouraging. And that was well executed.
Hell yeah, it was. So, we got 5 wide. Bryce going to do pre-snap read, and he's going to find the fish. That's what Urban Meyer used to say. He used to look for the guy that they could pick on, the guy that was the weakest link, the guy that Michigan or their opponents were trying to hide. Well, in this situation, it's not necessarily a bad player. It's where's the space to get these 2 yards? Well, it's the slot receiver whose DB is 12 yards away. Easy money right now. Bang, bang. That's the RPO staple right there.
Yeah, good stuff there, man.
Take the free money, man. So Bryce is looking for something else. He's looking downfield, surveying the situation. Take the free money. We don't need to, force the ball downfield. We got a wide open running back right there. Get it to him. We get a first down. The train keeps running down the track.
That's right. Secure the ball too, dude. I'm going to knock. I got to keep knocking. Our running backs, Coach Tony Alford, man.
Yeah.
We secure the ball.
Watch Zach Marshall on this play. All right. And the whole play.
Yeah, I see it, dude.
All the way down the field.
Yeah, these are the 2 key players for this play to work. And you and I both played this position, and you played some linebacker too. But for this play to work, there's 2 dudes we got to get handled. We got to get this guy handled, and he's the biggest violator, but he still kind of reads it, okay, because you got to believe the block, because all this action's going away. We do a good job making it look like power over here, but we got to try to fool this guy too. How do we fool him? So you watch those 2 players, and if this guy has to believe the block, even though the action's going there, this is how I taught my players: believe the block. The guy's blocking you, the tight end's blocking you. Why the hell's he blocking you if the play's going this way? But this guy here is in doubt. He's seeing some of this. He's sniffing around over here. That little sniff, watch him. sniff allows as we pump fake this thing, allows our center, who does a good job. You know how they coach this dude. He just he doesn't turn his shoulders. That's how they coach that. Because if he turns his shoulders, the center, watch the center. If he see how he stays parallel?
Yep.
Because turning your shoulders will show the defense. So that anyway, that little bit of this guy sniffing in there allows Crippen to get inside inside position on him. And that's how that play is executed. So it's very well blocked, and it's deceptive, and it's executed. And Marshall, a lot of guys for Marshall to keep the contact on this kid, he does a good job, because this is a big, strong kid.
Is this replay? Is it glitchy to you? Or is that just me?
Is it what now?
Is it glitchy? Is it not smooth playback? It looks like it's a little glitchy.
There's some parts in the rewind that does that. Is it smooth now?
No, it's still kind of choppy. I just want to know. Let's see if anybody in the chat.
Yeah, it's a little bit, but anyway, this is a good play by their defensive player, because our guy had it. He would have caught that. Their kid made a good play.
Great play. And then again, it's a young tight end. That's probably, if I remember right, I could be wrong, but I think that's the first real pass play thrown at him. And he runs a good route, runs a really good route, and bends it away from the safety. But the guy made a good play. You got to tip your hat to a good play. I love the tight end delay. Okay. Watch how the defense, the secondary, and the linebackers, watch how they clear out, because this looks like a straight drop back pass, and that means it's going to go deep. And the tight end's going to sit there and set up the block, and you think, yeah, they're going to heave this thing deep. And he waits just a second, and the whole middle of the field's cleared out. Release, hit him, bang. Get the free money, man. If there's free money, take it.
Secure the ball. Secure the ball. 2 hands. You see that? 2 hands, man. Coach him up.
And have you ever seen a picture of Zach Marshall? That guy's neck is his thigh, as thick as my thigh. He's got an enormous neck. This is a big, strong kid.
Yeah, I saw him when he came in as a freshman. He was still in high school that spring. Yeah, old Justin got him in the weight room in that training table.
Yeah. So this is just a great play call. It's 4th and 1. Michigan has shown 1,000 times over the past 5 years that we're going to rush this right up the gut. And they throw a nice wrinkle in here. And that play it's easy first down, but that's probably a touchdown too. Catch the ball, man.
I got a little, I questioned the edge player, because I think you have to smell rats. And this doesn't come, this is TJ Guy, but he has to feel this tight split. You got to feel these tight splits and potential blockers, because if he would have had outside contain, he might not be able to set up and launch and throw this football like that. So it isn't, everybody wants to yell at the defensive back, but I think TJ has to feel some of this stuff and not let him get pinned in.
Man, I'm going to disagree with you there, because he's got 2 keys. One is the lineman that's blocking him, right? And the way that block is going down, and the motion of, the movement of the quarterback, he's got to try and keep contained. I don't know how he's supposed to see an outside wide receiver come in there.
I tell you what, dude, I get it. I understand. But, I tell you, I just think I understand. I understand the argument. I wouldn't scream at the kid, but do you think Aiden Hutchinson would have saw him, felt him?
I mean, look how TJ Guy is. He's angled in. The guy's literally coming from behind.
I understand, but you got to feel. I always looked at splits. When I lined up as an edge player, I'm looking at splits. I don't know if they showed it on film ever either. I have to know, did they ever show this? But you're right. You can make the argument that it's tough on the kid. I get it. But
that's a young.
Let me just say this: if they showed that on film before, he's got to feel that.
That was not a good play by the safeties either. That's a good play by Metcalf.
This kid is. I don't know if he might be. In my opinion, I think he might be the best transfer defensive guy we brought in. This kid right here.
He's good.
I mean,
Yeah,
listen, Payne and Williams are good, but this kid is he's a good player, man.
Yeah, I like him.
Anyway, they choke.
Missed the field goal. So the crossing routes, I was asking a lot after the Oklahoma game because it seemed to me all of the routes on pass plays, even when it was maybe say 10 yards to get a first down, we're sending guys 12, 15, 18 yards downfield. And I wondered, where's the crossing routes? And lo and behold, here we go. And this is why they're so deadly. That's why Ohio State uses them a ton. They're killers, man. Ohio State made a living off of those things under Don Brown when we had Don Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a little static. We tried to get through this. Anyway, this play here, we just ran the reverse. We ripped them for the reverse, and now it looks just like the Don reverse. So now you get people in conflict. It's really the same blocking scheme as reverse, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To the
that's the key. That's really the key to the offense is make things look the same, but be different.
That's right. Put them in conflict, man. The curveball has to look the same as the fastball from the pitcher's hand.
Perfect analogy. That's why that arm angle and everything is so important, depending what, it can't look any different or they're going to know it's coming.
I want to be able to run zone and gap okay, here's us running zone.
That's the outside zone.
Yeah. Getting movement, nice movement in there, ripping them. We got to be able, we know we can run zone, and I want to get back to running gap too, more. Block down and pull guys. Pull two linemen. We ran counter Trey in this game. I think I have a film up here. We pulled, what do we got here?
So it's the RPO. It's pre-snap read. He sees McCulley has man coverage. So looking on his left, he's got man coverage here, right? And he sees that the middle linebacker is standing over the ball. There's a lot of space over there. So once he runs this RPO, he's going to fake the handoff, try and get those linebackers to bite, and then bang, there's plenty of room to space, and he throws it right at the perfect time when McCulley beats the corner but is in front of the safety. Perfect timing, perfect RPO.
You got to look at the linemen. How are they blocking? The running back. Does all of this look like it's a dive play to Marshall? That's what the linebacker has to feel.
Yeah, it looks like a fastball, but here comes the side.
It looks exactly like run. And that's what that's why it's called play action. It has to look like the run play. And looks like, look at them linebackers stepping up. So that's good. They're not tipping their hand with stance, high hat. It has to be low hat, flat backs. Again, Marshall. Let's get our quarterback outside. What do you got here, Do?
So this is a really well designed and well coached. We got 4 wide. We're going to motion this guy over here. We've run this play a bunch of time where we do that. We've done it to Morgan where he goes in motion, then kind of maybe bellies a little bit, but it's just Bryce gets it and he's going to throw it while right in stride. Bryce is even going to give a little bit of a shoulder pump fake there, right there. And it's going to open things up. The lineman release. Marsh comes underneath, gets behind him, and a nice, easy slip screen for a touchdown.
Yeah. USC shredded us with this kind of inside screen tuck with a tight end. It's tough. It's tough to defend, man. You spread the field like that.
But they practice it really well. They, Marsh being a young guy, hey, when you come up underneath there, don't get too close to the linebacker. And he doesn't.
Yeah. Well, the battle of the marshes Saturday in Lansing.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier.
Yeah.
That Nick Marsh, that guy's a great receiver, but
see, I don't, what the hell are we doing here, dude? Why are we losing contain here, especially with this kid? I don't understand it. He's going. See, this, what are you doing? Unless he thinks we don't know what the defense is. Is he thinking a backer's coming? It's just crazy.
Well, it's. I believe it's man covered. Is it? No, it's zone.
But there's no excuse for that for the edge player to take an inside go and not feel that tight end. You've got to feel this guy. Listen, this is look, TJ guy. I can maybe give it. I'll give him a pass on that. But there's no reason here. He's lined up tight. He's a threat. He can block me. I have to feel him. I'm lined up. I'm looking at the whole picture. Where's this dude? He's got a tight split.
Well, that's on the coaches. That's on the coaches to make
this
sure.
This kid's a 3-year starter, man. Isn't that more?
I can't see.
Yeah, that's more. I mean, I get it. It's coaching.
It's 1st and 10, and we have the nickel.
Oh, you know who that is? Do you know what that is? You know what that is? That's a linebacker.
Yeah,
that's Hausman.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It's man coverage, and if it is, that's the linebacker's responsibility.
That's right. And how many reps did he have in practice? He had less than Barham there. That's one of the weaknesses of playing different guys at different positions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, what's this? We're reading the mesh point, and we honor the quarterback. I talked about this as our game plan. Let's take the back away. We got him handled. And now this is a great job by Hausman. He's reading it. This was the game plan. This was Scar's game plan. Stop Coleman and then honor Williams on everything. Stop Coleman and honor the quarterback. This is the same plan we got to have. Same plan we got to have against Michigan State.
It's a good thing Hausman brought this guy down, or he's going to get a first down.
So that's that's good job by him, man.
Yep.
That's good plan by the coaches and players executing.
I'll tell you what, Hausman probably didn't have a real good game against SC. I think he'd even say the same thing, and he really had a good game this week.
Yeah, see, here's them running this screen. What are we in here? What's the coverage?
So it's 3rd and 10. It's a pass play, right? And you think they're going to throw the ball downfield on a 3rd and 10.
Wow, man. We're in man.
Yep.
I don't think we are. Yeah, they get this.
Yeah, we're playing off man.
Yep. Yeah, the 23 is Sullivan. This is tough. This is really tough on him because he's got this player. Okay, he's got him, but he goes so wide, and now this tackle gets a position on him. So Sullivan has a man. Yeah, Sullivan has him man to man.
So on man to man, when you have the running back as a linebacker, if you have the running back on man to man, right, you go to the line and meet him. You don't wait for him to come to you, right? So you're not going to rush unless he's blocking, and then you continue rushing. But when he releases here to the left, Sullivan's got to meet him up there. He can't give this kind of space between them. But Sullivan's a young guy, and that guy is a good running back and is well coached.
See, here's the conflict that he's in, though, dude. Okay, we applauded him when he covered that screen against Nebraska, right?
Yeah, but that's not. This is man
coverage.
I know.
I get it. I understand that. Well, I think one of those plays he was in man, that he jumped on that screen real quick, and so
he did, yes. But this is man coverage, and he's got to take his guy.
I get it. So this is how do you coach it to keep an inside position on his back?
Yeah, man, you've got to make sure
he's getting too much.
You can't leave that kind of space.
Yeah, you know what I mean. He's getting width.
Yeah, so then he got up over his toes a little bit. And...
Yeah, I wonder how they coach that. I would love to hear how they're coaching him in the film session on that right there. Should he keep inside position still? You know what I mean? What's this? Zone, perfect defense. It's a perfect 3rd and 14. We got the perfect defense for this play they're running. We're in a zone defense, and they're trying to run a screen out here. And and not only are we slanting we got 3 edge players in the game, so we're getting more of that. We got Barham here, TJ Guy here, and we're slanting the defense. I think to our right. Yeah, we're slanting here, so we get Barham slanting right into it, and we've got a flat player here, and we got the perfect defense for that play. So that play had no chance. So sometimes you guess right, sometimes you guess wrong. I don't know that he knew that was coming. What do you got here, Du?
Well, this is another drag route, but I just want to point out this effort by Zach Marshall. He's lined up as the right TE, right? And he's going to get an inside release. He's got to, and the safety's going to pick him up there. He's got to get to the other side flat. He's going to cross in front of the safety and in front of the linebacker and beat them both to the flat. And it's 2nd and 9 from our own 8-yard line. We need to advance the ball. This is just real good effort, good play design, but well executed by a guy who's, only getting better and better and better.
Yeah. Yeah, that gives you confidence. This is why this kid's a 5-star. And I watched Frazier. Frazier was respectable. He was not a liability. He gets knocked down there. This was one play I did see where he got a little high. You see Frazier up the top, dude?
Yeah, that guy coming. Look at it. He's got leverage on him, and he's going to get a bull rush in here, and he got the guy on his heels a little bit.
Yeah, it happened.
They're on scholarship too.
Yeah, that's right. I'm being unfair to Frazier because he did that. I shouldn't even pointed that out. He had a lot of good blocks. And I would feel confident if I'm him. He's going to make his first start, and he did a lot of good things. What a catch there. That's all coaching there, dude.
Yeah, man, that's incredible. It is just amazing. I mean, the throw, be able to get it off sidearm like that around that defensive end, and then and Marsh to be able to stab that like that. That's nice. Nice piece to have on your offense.
How much are these guys honoring Bryce to slow down this pursuit on zone?
Well,
that's the question here. How much are they honoring Bryce?
Well, it's a little bit of a scrape exchange, so the backer's going to be out there right on the M. So
yeah,
it's a good read by Bryce.
We've been good at this. This play has been good for us, dude. This draw.
Yeah, I like this little sprint draw. Yep. And it looks, if you look at, the offensive line, again, making it look like one thing.
Yeah.
And exploiting an overzealous defense. Come on, man, make that kick. Crying out loud.
Oh, this is
the.
Let me look at this play here.
So this is the defensive end. This is Dom Nichols. Now he's a sophomore, right? And so we're going to run a sim pressure where we're going to drop one of the defensive linemen and bring a linebacker. Well, that's going to leave your young sophomore to fake like he's blitzing. And then, oh, by the way, we want you to take this tight end after he fakes blocking you. It's a lot to ask.
No, I know. Dude, we ran on the goal line when we were at Michigan. We ran a scheme. We called it 90 cat, I think, on the goal line. You remember what the hell it was called? I think that was what it was. Anyway, I had the exact responsibility. I understand exactly what he's in, and what the way we coached it was, okay, if he stays in, if he stays in the block, you rush the quarterback with contain. Okay. So I think that's probably how they're coaching him the same way. If this kid stays in, you rush the quarterback with contain. Okay. If he slips out, you got to run with him. So you have to know that, just like you're saying, you have to know that as an edge player that you're going to rush, but you're going to rush, understand, you're going to nose him up. You're going to nose the guy up. And he lets him get an inside position on him. You know what I mean? I would have nosed this kid up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know, but just like you said, hey, if he steps to block you,
yeah,
right? You
I
get outside
and
rush the quarterback.
Yeah, it's hard, dude. It's one of those defenses when you put it in for your player, and our coach Milan would have understood it. He understands that he's got you in a bind. He would say that. He says, "I understand. I got you in a bind." He understood it. So I think as a coach, you tell your players, "Look, I get it. It's really hard to do. Just do the best you can." You know what I mean? I think it's one of those situations. See, we're a little screwed up here. 3rd and 2. I don't like seeing this.
We have this happen. It didn't happen as much as it did against SC, but it happens too much.
Yeah. So when you see that, we're a little jacked up. I don't like seeing dudes looking at each other. Anyway, we run a nice
Not when
stunt
they're in a
here.
4-minute drill to try and tie the ball game up, man.
Yeah, we do a good job here. Let's see. I tell you, Eto will get out and contain. They're playing him, and he'll get out here and contain when he has to. That's a good job by Moore.
Ran a twist, and so
good job by Moore.
Moore's going to knife in. You got to have Etta come outside. You got to get outside and contain, and that's why the sack happened, because the quarterback sees, oh, Etta's going to be out there.
Damn. Yeah, he makes a nice throw.
Yeah, the nickel back there, number 14, he's going to try and disrupt the route, but he gets a lot over his toes a little bit, and the guy makes a good move, cuts in front of him, and gets in front of the safeties. It's just, we're playing a lot of guys in the back half of the defense that,
I saw you had this marked on your analysis, dude. I saw it as soon as it was happening. I mean, are you kidding me? That's a terrible non-call. Terrible non-call. Anyway, they take it down. They got hope. Tied at half. Let's see. Let's get back to the beginning. Let's see where we're at here.
Going back to that play I was talking about, number 14, I just wanted to double check the roster. This is it's Jordan Young.
You want to go back to the
No, you don't have to go back to it. You can keep running. I just wanted to point out that, we're running a lot of different guys back there, including number 14 as a true freshman.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be super familiar with how to disrupt the route without getting himself out of position. So if you're going to play a bunch of players who don't have experience, you're going to get caught.
Yeah. I like Etta. It will give you contain. He'll help out. He's fast enough and athletic enough. When they run those twists, you got a 3 technique that is athletic enough to get out there. You know what I mean, dude? And that's not hard. That's not easy to do.
What are we circling here?
I got the OG. I'm just always fighting for these guys. I'm happy that because Espo just saw his big his defensive lineman contain the quarterbacks. He's all fired up.
Yeah.
So I'm just fired up watching. Look at him. He's pumped up for his boy. Because we've been there,
Yeah.
We know what that sideline's like.
Oh, yeah.
Get the ball to number 4, man. That's the game plan. Find ways to get him the football. Here we're running zone. We got to zone him. We got to gap him.
The nice cut back by Marshall. He's such a hard runner. I'm happy for that kid. Another Zach Marshall play. The Zach Marshall show.
Okay, who do they do? What do they key in here? I got that marked. What do they key in here? Oh, see, this is everybody's running this stuff in college football, but this is the stuff I was seeing as a high school coach 25 years ago, and I was running this stuff. And everybody thinks these guys are so smart now. Dude, look at this. What if you're a linebacker? Okay, look at the linebacker. You got false pull going this way to your right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got backside guard and tackle pulling to your right. Okay, backside guard and tackle pulling to your right.
And the tailback is on the right side. So, you think that's going that way. 100%.
And the ball is now in the mesh point. His ball's in the mesh point. What are you reading? You got 3 dudes here.
I'm reacting to run all the way there.
So you're going to step to the right?
Well, I probably have that gap between the tackle and the end there for the backside cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is,
normal player, your reaction if you get a little bit out of your, element is to fly over to the play side. That's why these RPOs are such difficult things for a defense. They hamstring you in so many ways.
Yeah, what I like about this stuff is it screws your keys. So this stuff makes the offensive coaches are really screwing with this kid's keys, and that's all by design. They want to get him out of that box with his keys, so he can't see how he doesn't get there to make that play.
That's a good job by Morgan. I mean, that guy gets a lot of grief for the drops, but that was a hell of a play to get the first down.
Yeah. I don't like this play against this defense. This is. Listen, we're not moving them, but we move them, okay. But do they got a lot of defense here, man. And you watch it closely. We just got no one to block these linebackers. They got 7 big dudes in the game, and they got 3 big linebackers.
And the safety's able to come right up too.
Yeah, these guys ain't no safeties. These are all linebackers. There ain't no.
That one guy I assumed was a safety.
Maybe one of them is, but the point I'm trying to make.
Two things happen here. One, I'm not saying he could, but I think Haynes might see the cutback right there. Cut off of Bredesen's butt. That's asking a lot. It's 4th and 2. Generally, you're just putting your head down.
Oh, you're saying to bounce it outside?
Yeah, bounce it right in between that block and Bredesen's ass. Yeah, right there. See?
Yeah, there might have been something, but.
Well, how about this then? Run it back for a second. And I think maybe we'll see this in the future, but watch. Keep going. All right, right there is good. Imagine if Bryce had this ball in his hands. Fake that. Right. Look at 12-4. Everybody else is going that way.
Well, this is what we saw a ton of when we were playing, is just straight naked boot off of this. Now, have we run it yet this year?
No.
Out of I-backs?
We run something. I don't know if we ran it out of I-backs. We need to,
those are the things. Yeah, those are the things that it'll slow this guy down. It slows people down. It slows your backside defense down when you run that.
If we hold this in the bag until Ohio State, I'd be perfectly happy with that.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we have a hard time blocking that period because we can block it. Everybody blocked who they were supposed to block on our left side, but there's no one to block those linebackers. There's no one there. So, okay. Anyway, this stuff, I talked about linebackers and athletes and throwing the ball to guys in practice. And this is just great stuff, man. Huge play in the game. Yeah. Tie ball game. We're tied up.
And it made a huge difference. The crowd got into it. The players were super enthused. The offense comes right out. It's a game changer.
Secure the ball. So that's just, rep. 3 technique. I want to break this play down because this is what I always talk about with conflict. When I was coaching, I would come in on and I'd be able to have to tell all my defensive linemen every block they're going to see in practice. So we trap this guy with a tight end, fullback type guy, Bredesen, H-back, whatever the hell you want to call him. We trap him here, which is great that we finally, we can. One of the weaknesses of having a back in the backfield, it's hard to get that quick hitting trap. Opposed to like when you have a guy at a fullback position, you know what I mean, under center.
Yeah,
it's harder to get that quick hitting guard, old school guard trap with the guy deep, which you want to have to put the 3 technique in conflict. Anyway, we're trapping them with Bredesen, okay, and we rip them, and we're going to look at this, and I'm going to talk about what I want. When I would come in on Monday, I'd have all these. I'd have to tell my 3 technique, my 1 technique. My 5 technique, you got to know every block you're going to see. It's just like a basketball player playing defense against Dewar. Okay, what can Dewar do? He can go to his right. He's weak to the left. He's got a nice jumper, but he's this, that, or what, you know what I mean? He grabs his elbow when he's, you know what I mean? What does he do?
100%.
What does the pitcher do? The pitcher has a curveball. He's got a weak fastball and a slider. Okay, here's what I have to tell my guys on Monday. Against Michigan now, which I like. Okay, they're going to gap you. They're going to block down and move your ass, and they're going to get this linebacker and run gap scheme this way, right? That's one play we have in. We're going to double you. We're going to knock you off the ball, and we might run a straight inside zone right in here. So he's got to play a down block where Michigan wants to run the ball this way. A double team, we want to just knock you into Stadium Boulevard. Okay, we're going to run a reach block where our guard is just going to step and reach you. We run that. Trap. Now we're running trap where we have this play in, where we're going to kick you out with the motion guy. We're going to scoop you where we have this tackle that is going to try to get you in here where we want to run inside zone this way or outside zone that way. So that's another block. Dive back, we don't really – well, sometimes we might, when our RPO do, we might have to have him – we might not block him at all where he has to take the dive back. You know what I mean? On the quarterback keep. And then what's the last play I have there? God dang it. Where'd I go? Anyway, I wanted to point this play out, and then he may even have to take the quarterback in some scheme. But I want to point this out because I really, really like it. We hear people that talk about, our offensive line sucks or this, that, or whatever. What the hell are you doing to help your offensive line? This stuff helps your offensive line when this dude is in conflict. Okay, and that's what you want to see. When I see this, I get happy because we help these offensive linemen out. So, dude, did I explain it?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. With all of the different looks that they could throw at you, you have to be prepared for them all. That spends a lot of time in film study and on the practice field getting ready for what they're going to do.
That's right.
The good thing is Michigan's getting really, really good with repping these things, all of these things. This is a split zone. Normally, Bredesen would kick out the end, but this time he kicks out the tackle, the guard goes up and gets the linebacker, and there's a wall of friendly butts that Jordan Marshall is able to walk right through.
Yeah, so what I want to see Michigan do is now we also have this in, we got this in where we come and we wham his ass right there. That plays in. We got him kicking out him. We just showed that. We got him kicking out him. We've always shown that, right? So all those plays, the defense has to scout, and they have to be prepared for. And they have to make that reaction quick. So that's what I like seeing with that play. That it's just good stuff, man. I want to help our offensive linemen. We're having fun. We could talk. We got a few more plays. Talk to us,
Yeah, just make the plays when the plays present themselves. This is a pretty vanilla, they're just going to try and hit the tight end. The quarterback's expecting him to sit down on just a run at the linebacker, sit down right there. But instead, the tight end drifts out, and Rolder's able to catch it, and another huge break and a game changer.
Yeah, here's Tonelli stepping up, man. I was wondering if he was going to get in the portal, man. You look at these guys like Prescorn. We're waiting for Prescorn to surface, man. But it's great to see Tonelli. And I'm hoping Prescorn, he might be like old Scarcelli, man, where the first 2 years he never sniffed. Right. Then that third year.
Well, he's clearly a talented guy because this is a really well-run route. It's a heads-up route. And after getting the ball knocked out of him the first time, he secures it. This is just a great play. Good job by a young tight end.
Yeah,
Bryce able to chuck this thing off his back foot in a tight window like that. Yeah. I hope that's all talent and not just luck because, man, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's our guy. We can compete with that Ohio State kid. Anyway, look at this. Let's take a look at Frazier because we're running his side. Or where's this ball hitting? We're running to the left.
Yeah.
Keep the contact. Yeah, we cannot, do when people put a new guy in a game, what's the first thing that they want to do? They want to attack him. See, now, talk to me. I see this play. When I see this play, okay, I think I made
stop it right there, just at the very beginning of that.
This right is where there. It starts. But I think we have a better look. I think we have a better look when I run it back to the where they start the formation. Okay, what the hell? I thought I marked this damn play. All right, let's stop right here. Yeah, this is it right here because I'm going to start with this dude, then I'm going to let you jump in. This is what I think is the reason I think this play worked. And the reason I think they're confused, you and I know what it is to come in on Monday and the coaches will have every formation charted for you that they've ran. So you're going to know every formation that the team has done. and what we're going to do and how we're going to adjust to every formation and every defense. You're going to have multiple defenses for multiple formations. So you'll have one formation. You'll have 3 different ways you're going to line up against it. You got to know them all. Anyway, this formation, we have not run this formation all year. Have you seen this formation?
No, not with the wide receiver back like that.
Okay. It's a unique formation. And I used to always tell my offensive coaches that sometimes you just don't know what you're going to get from a defense with just moving one guy. You move one dude and you don't know what the hell the guy's going to do on defense. So let's look at this formation. You got guard, tackle, receiver. We got guard, tackle, Bredesen, tight end. Looks like he's in a pistol. Is he right behind? He's under center, right? Bryce is under center.
Yep.
Looks like Marshall's right behind him. But this guy is in a unique position. And I think that's what screwed up the defense's adjustment to a formation. He's not here. He's not here. I just think that his alignment created confusion for this defense adjusting as to why the player is wide open. Now, you give me your thoughts.
And so you're right. And so now they got to think on their toes. And the first thing they see is, holy crap, there's that reverse again. We already fell for that once. So if you watch the guy that's in the end zone who's standing over Zach Marshall, watch him abandon everything and go hell bent to try and stop this reverse, leaving Zach Marshall wide open. Look at that guy. He's sprinting across the field thinking, oh, shit, there's a reverse.
Well, yeah, I get it, dude, but somebody should be on Marshall. And this is where I think see how they're looking at each other? See these guys looking?
So one of them is supposed to have a man-to-man.
This dude's looking, this guy's looking. There's anyway, again, you and I.
All right, so if that safety on the right there that you have circled is got Marshall, then who's got Zach? Safety up there has.
They didn't bump it right, dude. They didn't do the progression. You normally you count from the outside in, right? I think that might be it. See, normally you count man-to-man coverage, right? I got the number 1 receiver from the sideline.
Right.
You got the number 2 receiver from the sideline, right? Isn't that kind of like some people do it? But maybe because he's right in this position, right behind the tight end. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there for our listeners. In my opinion, these guys are screwed up because of this guy's position. And we're going to move on, dude. Okay?
Yep.
But that's those are little tweaks sometimes that an offensive coach can do to screw up a defense. What are we running here? 4th and 3. I like it.
Sack. And, hey, if you're going to try and block Derek Moore with a tight end, you deserve to pay for it.
Yeah. Got about 5 more plays, fellas. They got any questions they piping in, do?
Hang on, just let me take a look real quick. Let's see. Zach is tough too. He hits the field. 86 for Washington, got away with 2 holds. Yeah. You know what? There's a hold in every game that goes uncalled. Multiple holds on every game. Yeah, we would like to see the guys on the edges not get held that could make the play, but it is what it is. They didn't call it. Move on.
This is he likes this Eto, and this is I understand this totally as a coach because I had some 3 techniques that I could not run this with. Dude, you got a real big fella. You want to run this stunt and let this guy come inside, and this guy has to be athletic enough to get out here and contain it. And sometimes 320-pound take on double team type dudes don't always correlate with the ability to contain. You know what I mean? So Eto can give you that enough. That's why he likes to have Eto in there. And
it's a great job by Derek Moore because he's got to cross that end's face for that thing to work. Yeah. He's got to cross that guy's face and make him chase him. That way, Etta can get outside without anybody coming off their block to get him.
This kid's from my neck of the woods, Harper Woods. His old man was a Michigan grad, dude. He didn't play sports, but he's a hell of a coach at Harper Woods. And that's just being athletic, Find a way to catch the
Well,
ball.
athletic by falling down and happening to be in the right place at the right time.
He caught
Hey
the
man,
ball.
it's an
though, dude.
interception. It's in the. It's
What do
in
we
the
got
record
here?
book.
We got M smashing 83. I listen. These dudes. I know these guys can play up in here. I was really watching 83 and 77 all day. Once 77 got in there, I got to know, can we run behind this kid? Look at him finish here. Can we run behind 83 if Klein is out? Let's check 83. Look at Marshall. He's a new dude, man. He's a different dude. Watch him right here. Look at that movement from Marshall. Look how he finishes.
Yeah, he comes off the ball hard, man.
Yeah, that's just good because we know the other guys. I don't like this. I got to question this, dude. It's 24-7, and why is this guy carrying the football?
Why are all the starters in?
You're right. I don't understand it.
No, get
I
him
do
out of
not
there.
understand it. Why is well, this more than anything? Why the hell is Bryce carrying the football?
Yeah,
You know,
and that's the first.
put the other guy in there. Let him run the damn ball.
Yep. Yeah, I don't agree with that either. But coaches are funny sometimes. Man.
Okay, this stuff, dude. I never had to prepare for this stuff. Okay, as a coach, ever did I have to prepare? I mean, I did. We did. We had this play in. Okay, as an offense, we had it, and I never prepared for it on defense as a coach ever. But you know what? When you play these guys, you have to prepare for it. You have to prepare your offense for that play. Isn't that sad?
Well, yeah, it's disturbing, but go back through the history of the game. You can watch a lot of things that went on in that game that are just uncalled for. Yeah. I actually saw somebody say, "Oh yeah, we want Michigan State to not fall for the bait that Michigan keeps throwing at them." Like, we went up the tunnel and you guys took their helmets off and beat a kid. How did we bait him in? By skipping?
Yeah.
Shut up. If that's how soft you are, you don't deserve to wear football pads. Just play the game during the whistle and then get on with your day if you lose. Jack Sawyer, the Panasiuk brothers from Michigan State, those clowns in the tunnel. I think I dislike Michigan State football more than Ohio State when it comes to the rivalry. You know, they talk a lot, and they had a good.
We got to live with them, dude.
10 years.
They're down the street, man. You work with them. They're down the hallway. There, you got Spartans everywhere. We got to listen to them, man. So this game matters, man.
I don't like them at all.
I hear you, man. But our team is ready. Our coaches are ready. We control our own destiny. This is my final comment. We control our own destiny. We got a tough mental challenge. That team will give us everything they got. But we got to secure the ball. We're going to do that. The same plan I talked about on defense, and I'm confident. And it's going to be a great trip back on that bus. That's my final comment. Go Blue. Dude, what's your final comment?
Go Blue, man. Beat Sparty. Beat State. Beat them up and down, sideways, inside, outside. Bring back the trophy and have a great bus ride and a good night on Saturday.
All right, dude. It's all good, brother. Go Blue.
Go Blue.